Now that we've harvested the last of this year's strawberry crop, it's time to renovate our planting. Now, this renovation is necessary to keep the plants healthy and productive. Since strawberry plants spread by runners, everybody eventually ends up with a huge patch of the plants. And within this patch, or this matrix of leaves and stems, the individual plants will eventually start to become overcrowded, and they'll start to compete with each other for space, for light, and for nutrients. So if we don't come in every year or every other year and renovate the bed, the amount of strawberries produced or the yield will start to decline. Also, the size of the strawberries will be affected. Over the years, the size of the strawberries will start getting smaller and smaller due to all that competition. So it's important that we renovate our strawberry bed. Now, when we're talking about renovating the bed, we're talking about shrinking the size of the patch, or at least opening up some bare blocks of soil or strips of soil to allow the vigorous new runners to spread into. Now, if we just had a patch of strawberries on the ground, we could take our push mower and start the renovation by just mowing some strips through the patch of strawberries. When we do this, we'd leave rows of foliage about 8 to 10 inches wide, and then just cut several strips the width of our mower. Well, since we have a raised bed here, we can't very well get the lawnmower up in there and start mowing. So we're going to have to do something a little bit different. Now, my idea for this raised bed is to leave a row of foliage down the center, about 8 to 10 inches wide, and just cut away all the foliage on either side. So I could use these head shears, start cutting the foliage back that way. But I've got quite a bit to cut back, and that may take quite a while, so I think I'll try something a little bit different, something a little bit faster, like the weed eater. Well, as you can see, the weed eater worked very well, and I've left a strip of plants down through the middle here, about 8 to 10 inches wide. And we do this cutting back of the foliage mainly just to be able to see what we're doing. This is just the beginning of the rejuvenation or the renovation process of our strawberries. Now, we still have all the tops, or the bottoms of these plants. We just cut the tops off of them. And if we were just to leave these, they would grow back and we'd still have our huge patch of strawberries. So what we need to do is to take out all the plants in this bare area. Now, if you have really moist soil, you may be able just to kind of pull those out by hand, or what we recommend is just taking a hoe, coming in, just hoeing those up, chopping those out of the bed, something like a hoe or a long-handled sharp-pronged cultivator maybe, and just kind of pull those up out of the bed, or a combination of all those methods just to get rid of all the strawberry plants. Now, we don't recommend taking a rototiller and tilling in those plants, and that's because if there are any diseases present in the strawberry patch, tilling them in would incorporate those diseases into the soil, and you may have the disease in the soil for a number of years. So just take a hoe or a cultivator and just eliminate the plants in that fashion. The cultivator seems to really work well, just loosening them up and pulling them out. Once we've got the area clear of all the strawberry runners between all the rows in our strawberry patch, we can now recharge the soil. Now would be the time to add any fertilizers according to a soil test. And it's a good idea to do a soil test on your strawberries early on in the year, like in March or maybe the early part of April. That way you can have the results back in time when you do the renovation. Now, if you want to go the organic route, You can recharge your strawberries or the soil in your strawberry patch with some well composted organic matter like we've got right here. This will supply a lot of nutrients and just kind of help recharge the soil around those plants. If you want, you can work that in a little bit as well. Now would be the time to take care of any weed problem that you might have in your strawberry patch. Be sure and read the label of any of the products that you use to make sure that they are labeled for strawberries. Now, of course, your best defense against weeds, especially in these new soil areas that we've opened up, would be the application of a type of mulch. Now, we're just going to take some pine bark mulch and spread it out on these opened up soil areas. We'll put down about a 3-inch deep layer of this pine bark mulch. That'll help keep those weeds out of there, and that mulch will also help hold in soil moisture, and it'll regulate soil temperatures. Now, once this is all done, we've got the mulch down and everything's completed, we'll come out and we'll water this in very well to kind of soak in the soil around those torn roots, especially up against the edge of the little row of plants we left in the center here. Now, if you're going to recharge or renovate your strawberries, it's important to do this immediately after you finish harvesting the last of the crop. Then it's the prime time to get out there, renovate your strawberry row, and it should respond with a great deal of vigor. Now, if you want to learn more about strawberries, you can go by your local county extension office and pick up this fact sheet, Growing Strawberries in the Home Garden, number 6214. Has lots of good information, talks about a lot of the different varieties of strawberries for Oklahoma, talks about their resistance to disease and also their time of ripening, whether they're early, mid-season, or late. Now, you can also access this fact sheet on our website. Just go to www.oklahomagardening.okstate.edu. Go to our homepage, click on resources, and you'll see the fact sheets. Well, good luck, and I hope you have lots of success growing strawberries in your garden.